Hey folks, I know it's been a while since I've been with you. To be honest with you, my internet has been pretty much out for the last 2 weeks, so I have to drive about 10 or 12 miles to actually get enough signal to try to upload anything. Uh, and I've just been being lazy because I didn't want to do that. It's a nice, wonderful, snowy day here. We got about 8 inches of snow last night. Most of it's blown in. You really can't tell. It was probably more in the lines of 2 or 3, but it drifted up nice. But anyway, what I kind of want to talk about today is I don't know if we want to call it snobbery in bushcraft and outdoors and prepping and survival and so on and so forth, or what we want to call it. But the last couple of days that I was online when I still had internet, I was watching a whole bunch of people go back and forth about where you should practice your skills and what gear you should buy, and just the normal stuff that we see all the time. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, I like the simple approach. Dave talks about some of the tools, spend the money on those tools, and then fill in the rest. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I have, as far as knives go, I've had everything from $8 Moras to $300 knives. And if you know the limitations of your tools and you know their design purpose, and you don't try to push them past all those things, then I'm not going to be mad at you whatever you use. I don't care if you got a $600 hammock gear system or a $40 system from Walmart and a Snugpak Cocoon. I don't care if you've got that $8 more or if you've got a $300 custom knife. I don't care if you're practicing in your backyard. I don't care if you're practicing on your back porch. It's important to practice all these skills. But with that being said, if that's the only thing or only place that you're practicing, then you're not going to be ready for real world. I've seen a lot of folks come to classes who just got done making 100 bow drill sets online and 100 successful culls and can't do it in the woods. That's because they're sitting at home in a controlled environment, using wood that they either bought or that they harvested and then took it inside and let it dry perfectly and do all those kind of things. Those are bow drill especially. That's a great way to learn technique and get the mechanics down. But I'll tell you where a lot of people fail is because they've done that 100 times and then they come to a class and they have to walk into the woods, harvest everything, and make an ember all within a short period of time. I left it sitting in my garage for a week to let it dry out, or I bought kiln dried cedar from the lumber store and made it, and those things, because those things don't happen in the real world. All those are great. I get really tired of people ragging on each other because they're not doing things the way that other folks think they should do it, and to an extent, yeah, you need to get out in the real world and practice these skills. You need to be able to do these skills at a moment's notice, because you never know when you're going to need them. That's why we practice. That's why we learn these things. A good case in point. I was watching an exchange online, and somebody was saying, "Well, you're just practicing in your backyard. You really need to get way out in the woods because that's where stuff's going to happen." That's not really true. Not too far from here, in another neighboring town, or outside a neighboring town, I don't know, it's been 3 or 4 years now. This really has nothing to do with survival skills. It's just to show you that things can happen that you're not ready for, and it may take you a while to get out of a problem. This individual was driving their car, I guess at a high rate of speed, and they got off the road somehow. And they crashed out through a bunch of brush and things like that. And you've all seen this nice thick brush. Well, what happened is this was a fairly small car, and it went through this brush, and basically the brush parted and closed back up when the car passed through. They went about 150 yards or so off the road, down a hill, into a ravine kind of situation. And in the process of this crash, they ended up breaking both of their legs. It took them 2 days to crawl back from their car all the way to the road where someone can see them. Now, this is a couple of days of people driving up and down. It was a highway, so there were a lot of people driving up and down. But there was no indication that anybody had went off the road there, none of that stuff. And they got themselves out there and got themselves injured in a situation where that they, I'm 150 yards from a major highway. And it took days for them to crawl there. Good thing was the weather wasn't super bad, so they didn't have to deal with a lot of the elements. They had to deal with dragging themselves hundreds of yards with a couple of broken legs. I'm sure they were in a lot of pain, but that's how fast things can happen. And I'm not saying survival skills will have helped them, but maybe if they'd had a bag in the car, maybe they could have crawled 10 feet from the car and made a fire or did whatever they needed to do. But, and I don't know, they may have been out of it enough they weren't thinking that way. So basically, you need to practice your skills wherever you can. I don't care if you're practicing knots like I do sitting right here in my man shed, or if you're lashing pieces of 2x4 together, or round tent poles. I've got all these round tent poles up here from an old military tent. Those would be great for lashing practice. In fact, I may do a complete shelter out of those things. Not the covering, but the frame and all that stuff, just to show you it doesn't matter whether you're cutting down a birch tree, or cutting down a little live oak, or cutting down a friggin' a mimosa or whatever to make all your poles. A lashing is a lashing is a lashing, no matter what I'm tying together with it. So I encourage you guys to get out, practice your skills. Don't be a snob just because somebody else has something that you don't have, or you've got something they don't have, or so on and so forth, however we want to say that. Get out and practice, but get out and practice in the real world also. We know that a lot of places, they don't want us to go out there and cut down 20 trees to make a shelter, which makes sense. There's no reason for it. But that's not saying you can't have some of these tent poles like this. They're octagon shaped, they're not round. And lash those together and make tripods and make shelter poles and make lean-tos and make whatever you need to make out of them. That way you will be a step ahead in the game if you ever have to do it. So, with all that being said, thanks for your views, thanks for your support. Sorry I'm coming to you from the man cave again, but I was actually out here doing a video for somebody that asked me for a 2-minute video. So, I just thought I'd throw this in, and now I'm going to spend hours uploading this on my cellular connection, which I have 1 bar at home. So, that's on a good day. So, I don't know when this is going to be up, but until I see y'all in the woods, get out there and get practicing, and thanks for your views, thank you for your support. Jump in the description box and support me through some of those links there if you need to buy something, or even if you don't, that kind of thing. I've never been good at self-promotion. I guess that's why I'm not on top. Talk to y'all later. Bye.